I just want to give TNA a round of applause for managing to stay afloat for all these years, for surviving all the storms. I mean, let's be honest, guys. TNA Wrestling has survived many, many storms. They have survived many, many hardships. Okay? When TNA was at its lowest point in the mid 2010s, we all thought, okay, it's only a matter of time until TNA Wrestling gets WCW'd, right? And they're completely off the face of the earth. Nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be watched, right? That's what we initially thought in its lowest points. But, kudos to the talent, kudos to the management, kudos to the office, kudos to the creative team for keeping the ship afloat and keeping it still on the ocean, afloat, and keeping it going. So now it brings us to the WWE partnership with TNA, a multi-year partnership where you're going to see TNA wrestlers go to NXT. NXT wrestlers will show up on TNA. We're more likely going to get a crossover pay-per-views with TNA and NXT, hopefully with the main roster, WWE as well, where main roster talent could even show up on TNA. And we may see TNA wrestlers actually be on Raw or SmackDown, not just NXT. So this is going to be a true partnership. It just can't be for NXT only, where you're just seeing TNA wrestlers and NXT wrestlers collide. We got to see them, mixing it up with the talent on the main roster too. And I think that WWE and TNA will do a better Forbidden Door than AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling have done in the past 3 years. I strongly believe that. Knowing the talent that we have from TNA, NXT, and WWE, listen, there's a lot of supreme great talent in AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. But I know for a fact that we're going to get better storytelling. We're going to get better television with the incorporation of TNA talent and more characters in the mix. You look at TNA's roster right now, most of them are ex WWE talent, right? Hardy Boys being specific, Dolph Ziggler, which is now Nick Nemeth. I think Dana Brooke is even in TNA, and I know I'm missing a couple of names. It'll come back to me, but it'll be fun to see Jordan Grace go up against Bianca Belair, a Joe Hendry enter the Royal Rumble at number 1, right? Imagine Joe Hendry entering the Rumble at number 1. That would be sick. The Hardy Boys making their return. You already don't know the Hardy Boys are going to be eventually inducted into the Hall of Fame. That seems to be in the works. And them making a return to either Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. I just want to throw some matchups out there right now. We could probably see the Motor City Machine Guns versus the Hardy Boys, or the Hardy Boys versus the LWO, the Hardy Boys versus the Street Profits, Hardy Boys versus the Judgment Day, whatever tag team, the Viking Raiders, whoever. A whole bunch of matchups can be formed, right? Joe Hendry versus Cody Rhodes. It's more likely that we're going to get like a Forbidden Door crossover type of show. I wouldn't be surprised if we do, right? So even probably for War Games, they could even do Team NXT versus Team TNA, or Team TNA versus Team WWE at War Games. 5 men from Raw and SmackDown, they team up to take on 5 men from TNA in a War Games type of matchup. That would be pretty cool, right? But this will elevate a lot of the TNA talent, and that will give them more exposure to a wider audience and to more people, and it's going to really help boost the growth in TNA now. So I feel like going forward, TNA Wrestling has a new lease on life. and is off life support due to the partnership with NXT last year and now this multi-partnership with the WWE. So congratulations to TNA Wrestling for sticking it through the hard times and, going through many, many, many storms.